Okay, we have the green box, green bars, and we have the live counter ticking up, so it should now be live, which of course means welcome back to the Storytime Network, where Fuzzy, you're reporting from a storm.
Do you know what happens to a duck when it's struck by lightning?
The same thing that happens to everything else.
Yeah, so I joke, but there is there is quite literally a non-zero chance that I will be struck by lightning live on stream. So, you know, let's do it for the content.
I can strike some stuff with lightning in Oblivion to make up for it until it happens.
Well, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I'm like...
The spells that I'm likely to choose are also likely to kill a lot of other people as well.
Rip.
Yeah, so, just for context, I live in Ontario, which is not really doxing myself because the province is larger than, like, most European countries. And also is where, like, a good 40% of the population of Canada lives. So,
Yep.
It's not like I'm doxing myself, but we are in the middle of a thunderstorm. And I'm pretty sure my neighbor's tree has been snapped in half.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know for sure, but it is just there is a jagged, like, it's one of those trees where the trunk splits, like, shortly off the ground.
Oh, Jesus.
And one of those trunks ends in a big splinter of, like, fresh wood. So I'm pretty sure they didn't cut that down recently, so I think it may have been blown down by the thunderstorm.
All that's left.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Myself and these civilians.
Also, funny enough, there is a city in Southern California named Ontario.
They refuse to stay put.
Yeah, there's, like, a city named something in, like, every city name in North America is repeated in, every name, geographical name in North America is repeated at least 6 times.
There's like 8 or so Parises in the US alone.
You will, soldier. Once they're
You'd think there would be more in Canada than in the US.
I think they just like the name Paris.
Sir, yes, sir.
Well,
Also, you can't
French,
discount the possibility of French immigrants.
The French helped the Americans with their silly revolution back in the day, so it doesn't shock me massively that there are a lot of Parises.
We've done it.
I
can't believe it. I didn't
also,
think this would work.
It's still wild to me that Paris is like an ancient word
not even close.
that
was only the
like
first
far
step.
past the French.
This far with us. Will you go first?
I mean, London is derived from Londinium, which was, you know,
what we've seen
Roman.
Take a few moments. Are you
I
ready?
mean, Paris is older than that because it was the name of the Prince of Troy.
Our goal is the castle gate. You know.
So, you know, I'm pretty sure Greece predates Rome. I think that statement alone would probably give ancient historians the world over a conniption.
That's why I said
Like,
kind of.
Yes, because, like, but yeah, Mill, you're lucky you're not that kind of historian.
Yeah.
Damn it! This is no good.
Oh, we'd probably get Mill very
And the
annoyed.
only way to open them is from within.
Oh
the
yeah,
gatehouse.
speaking of ancient Greeks,
we can't open that.
I
gate,
was discussing
and
with
the
Mill
only way to
a
get into the
character
gatehouse
design
is
tier
and
list
find
for
Baratanium.
Fate
Once you've got
Grand
it,
Order
get-
sometime later this year that you and he can participate in.
I have some things to say about Fate character designs.
Oh, I imagine you will. I am trying to compile, I'm trying to get the designs all gathered together in one folder that can be made into a tier maker list. Well, not all of the designs necessarily, but
must
most.
already exist, right?
Not to the degree that it should, because it's probably like just one per servant, and there's like most servants have at least 3 designs. There's suitably distinct from one
You're talking
another.
about all of them, including the alt
Captain
outfits.
Matt is to get...
Yes, because some
Oh,
servants have really good outfits and really
I'm
bad
afraid you're in for
outfits,
it. I'd better go. If
and like it's not necessarily fair to judge each of them collectively on one servant. You know?
then you've got the servant variants.
I'm not including the seasonal alts outside of maybe one or two exceptions, because that does
There's
seem
one
like a
very
bit much.
notable exception for the meme must exist.
Which one?
The song.
The
I
song?
dare not speak its name because it will be summoned, even though it's not Christmas yet.
Oh God.
All I want for Christmas is you.
Don't worry about it, Mel. Tofu will make sure to remind you.
Yeah, there's already a different alt of that character that I'm including instead. A couple different alts, actually.
Oops. I may have just shot at the equivalent of a cop in this game.
Oh no, what a tragedy.
It seems fine. Oh no, he took an arrow to the knee! His adventuring career is over! He legitimately did! Oh no! Complete
So
accident.
Oh, I lost my train of thought.
That happened.
Sorry.
Yeah, so... No. The FGO character designs thing is a
Get
pretty
out the way!
reasonable suggestion for tier list. But I was gonna say... and this is gonna be much harder to find, TOS suitable art of, but we should do some sort of Rule 63 tier list.
Could be fun.
In which, because like a lot of characters have a very consistent gender swap art. Cough Bowsette. Huh. So we could do a tier list of like how good the character looks when Rule 63 compared to their original design.
Could be neat.
this is it. Best.
Also, Mill, occasionally game audio is coming in through your mic.
Right, there's very
So
little
you
I
might
can
wanna-
do about that.
That's wild.
You can't turn the game down a little bit?
I guess I could.
Like on your end instead of in Discord or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I imagine some designs are going to get docked just because they're, you know, ridiculously strippery. There are cases where, like, revealing outfits are appropriate, for character reasons, but yeah.
So here's my thing about that. I will automatically dock any skimpy outfit for a very simple reason.
Why is
Not
that?
the reason. I will dock the skimpy outfits not out of prudishness, but out of anti-prudishness because FGO is cowards. The devs are cowards, and they have forgotten that their source material is literal porn.
Here's the thing, they would never be able to actually get away with a porn game on a mobile device.
No,
Not like an
they would be
official
able to get away with it, it would just be less profitable.
Yes.
Well, okay, so, I actually have a theory in that regard. It would definitely be less profitable if that's what they had launched with. But my theory is that now that FGO has become like, it's a global pandemic that has infected the world, if they came out with an 18+ version of FGO, it would make them all of the money.
Oh, they would make a shit ton of money.
Like, it
Especially if
would've-
they, you know, did it for all servants, regardless of gender.
Yeah, because if they had just done it in like the on launch, they would have not sold a single copy.
Mm-hmm.
Just because of restrictions. But if they do it now, they would literally crash the market.
Mm-hmm.
But they're cowards, so they won't.
I think I saw mention in an interview that one of the main creative voices behind the franchise wanted to move away from Aerogaze when around the time that they were working on the Extra series.
Yes, because he's a coward.
Yeah,
It's one of those things where... You go ahead.
I don't think necessarily that character designs being skimpy is an indication of them being cowards or prudish. Not all of them, anyways. Some of them are just very stupid. You'll see them when we get to them. But I do want you and Mill to try to go into it as blind as possible, so we can get genuine reactions on stream.
That will not really be possible for me. I'm pretty sure I've seen most of the egregious ones.
No, that's fair. But I said as possible. What's done is done.
Yeah, I never seek these things out, Jack. But I do spend a worrying amount of time doom scrolling on Reddit. So I see
that sounds
things.
like a you problem. I'm sorry, that was mean.
No, but look, it could be worse. It could be Twitter or Blue Sky.
All right.
Blue Sky is not nearly as bad as Twitter, not yet.
Currently
You
just
head to the back of the
guiltily
castle
tugging
and
on my
find the
collar.
Yeah, no. Blue Sky is not as bad as Twitter in that way, but it's still like... At least when I'm doom scrolling on Reddit, I do stumble upon some interesting things, like some of the writing Reddits and some of the, like, character Reddits and stuff like that. Whereas with Blue Sky, it's mostly just porn and vibes, from my understanding.
I haven't really been on Blue Sky all that much, if I'm being perfectly honest.
I feel like I spend more time on Threads now than I do Blue Sky.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like the fucking meta version of it.
Oh, ugh.
It's
Yeah, I spend more time on...
It's actually surprisingly good.
I spend more time on
Owned by
Reddit
Meta.
and Tumblr.
Yeah,
personally.
whatever. If I'm still using Instagram, I'm still using Meta.
Yeah, no, I
don't
don't.
really vibe much with Insta, personally.
Yeah, I don't frick with Instagram.
It's alright.
Also,
I bought some
I
comment
should know, I don't have an account on any of these things. So, I'm at least not interfacing them with them in that way.
Wild.
Yeah, no,
Impressive.
I raw dog the algorithm.
Just
Like the pure, uncooked algorithm in the purest sense.
Yeah, plus I even with I do all of my mobile browsing in incognito windows just so I don't clutter my phone with cookies.
Smart.
So not only is it like unfiltered, like unpersonalized Reddit, it's also without cookies even.
where is we?
That sounds like a very unsweet
If
in
only we'd
existence.
gotten here sooner. This is indeed. At least.
I'm not apologizing for that joke.
Thank you. I shall make sure.
I mean, I don't
Is that
consume
biscuit?
sugar.
Take
Yes, she's currently staring out the
you too.
window and barking at the sky.
The Imperial.
Understandable. Go for it,
Truth
Biscuit. You
is,
can do it.
The Legion. Carry on.
But yes,
Citizen.
I do So like 90%, for some reason, I saw two separate Friezas that will haunt my dreams forever while doom scrolling Reddit, so I shared them with you as well.
I believe I saw at least one of them, yes. Or was it one of those two image things?
No, it was two separate. One was in memes and one was in the other channel for obvious reasons.
Yes.
I honestly think the handsome Frieza one is more disturbing for some reason.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
No, which one did you find more disturbing?
I didn't find either of them really that disturbing.
I mean, so is it wild to say that Frieza is a little bit NB coded?
I mean, he does have a pretty androgynous design.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frieza has a pretty androgynous design, no visible genitalia, and unlike a lot of the other aliens, does not seem to concretely lean in one direction or the other.
Yeah.
I also just wonder a lot about life in the Frieza Empire. For a very simple reason.
I am Lucian. Your work, your deathcraft.
The backstory of the Frieza Force implies the existence of an upper class that Frieza caters to, which seems very counterintuitive to his entire personality. Because, their thing is they sell planets, right?
Mm-hmm.
That implies two things. One, it implies that there exist people who are rich enough to buy planets, and two, it implies that they actually need money for things. Which does not make sense considering the fact that Frieza is an autocrat. Why does the autocrat need money?
I don't think Toriyama thought those details out when he was world building it.
We are fans with varying degrees of mental illness. It's our job to overthink these things.
I know. I'm just saying I don't think there was a Doylist explanation for it. There might be an explanation, but I don't know.
I still think it should be Doylian. Just
know.
Watsonian and Doylist doesn't roll off the tongue as well as Watsonian and Doylian. You need to have
consistency, yes.
Yeah, I know asking for consistency in the English language is like asking Santa to give Darkseid a present instead of a piece of coal. Did you know that's canon, by the way? In the DC universe?
Oh yeah, that's fucking hilarious. I love that.
Not only does Santa exist, canonically, in the DC universe, there's a lot of very interesting interactions, because Santa exists, Batman knows this and occasionally does help him do things, and Superman believed in the existence of Santa until, his teen years, until he met other people who told him Santa didn't exist, and believed that Santa didn't exist until adulthood, at which point he learned, and then he later learned that Batman knew and didn't tell him, and he got real upset about that.
Yes, I've seen the post.
There is a literal on-screen argument between Batman and Superman, because Superman is upset that Batman didn't tell him Santa was real.
I love comics sometimes.
Yeah.
But yes, Santa also canonically... So Darkseid is basically the big bad of the DCU. He's he may not be the most powerful, but he's the most consistently top-tier bad guy. and he lives on a planet called Apocalypse that is literally populated by evil eldritch gods. And
very
every
subtle.
year, yes, and every year on Christmas, Santa just strolls into Apocalypse and personally delivers Darkseid a piece of coal, and Darkseid has never been able to stop him.
It seems Somerset Isle has become
It's hilarious.
Which for power scaling purposes suggests that DC Universe Santa is at least like
Is
multiverse
ludicrous.
tier.
Yeah.
Which is just very funny to me.
Yeah.
I still don't know what I like more, that or the idea that Jesus was the first Joestar in JoJo's. Or Jesus was the first JoJo, rather.
Yeah, I know the whole argument. We are getting a Steel Ball Run anime, so that's gonna be a fun time.
God, there's gonna be so many... Like, the memes already exist, but an entirely new audience is going to
Yeah.
see so many balls. There's so much balls. Like, it is... Somehow... It sees the... Like, Araki saw the homoeroticism of the first 6 parts and was like, let's keep escalating. And then, so you end up in an entire part that is focused around a lot of very flamboyant men fondling balls.
Mm-hmm.
It is the longest JoJo's part. And it is entirely men fondling balls. And it is glorious.
Good for JoJo's fans.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like the premise of the show is that a mysterious Italian twink teaches a quadriplegic twink how to properly handle balls.
So what you're saying is, after one part of writing a female protagonist, Araki felt he had to go full homoerotic energy.
You say that as if part
Yeah,
6
he was
didn't
like-
also have homoerotic energy.
Yeah, no, but like, it's like, he wrote, so he was like, okay, I have fans of both genders, so even though I'm not really into it, I'll write a lesbian part for JoJo's. And then it's immediately back to the gay stuff. And like, he was, you can taste the withdrawal. Like, Araki was going through yaoi withdrawal for the entirety of part 6.
That's why he wrote
And
Poochie the way
so-
he did.
Yes, like, Poochie was his attempt to compensate, but even Poochie was not enough. So he had to go balls deep. Steel Ball Run.
I will not apologize for laughing like a dumb teenager.
Listen, the jokes write themselves. It doesn't even take effort. It's literally the part is named Steel Ball Run. That sets the tone for the entire thing.
God's blood. We should check that.
You're right, Oblivion NPC. We should check the balls.
I sort of killed him and had to bring him back.
Your timing is excellent. I'll take the one on the right.
Look,
Together?
it's not...
Who are they?
Saying that you should play Oblivion without console commands is like saying that it's unreasonable for a FromSoft game to have an easy mode.
I was praying in the chapel when I heard Prior Maberel shout,
We're not
Amulet of
starting that on
Kings.
stream.
I fear that was the target of this attack.
Well,
We
no.
need
So
to
I
proceed.
I will say
We'll go together.
I have some interesting directions for research now, though.
Hmm.
In the sense that I've basically stumbled upon, through crashing out over that topic, I have ended up stumbling upon a very broad field of psychosocial study that could potentially keep me researching, like keep me supplied with topics through from like bachelor's dissertation through to PhD,
Nice.
which I did kind of go into a sort of the idea came to me in the shower, as it does.
I fear the enemy
Oh yes, classic
Uh,
shower thought.
So I was doing the thing in the shower where I was so a certain I had an argument yesterday. I won't go into it, but I had an argument where, do you know what the worst part of that is, and that even you two are not aware of?
The Amulet of Kings is gone.
No.
The enemy has defeated us at
I
every
spent
turn.
like 15, 20 minutes
So it is not all gone
typing
against.
out
Nothing
like
cannot
a
stay.
very
Nowhere is truly
detailed,
Cloud will
thought out,
attempt, I think.
multi-paragraph reply, and then I
We may as
accidentally deleted it instead of
With the
sending it.
amulet taken by the enemy.
Oh,
Cloud roulette, it
I
is
hate that.
the coronation of
So
each
that
youth
actually
that
like
with them.
just made me have a complete mental
The
breakdown, and I just
Counselor
threw my
of the
phone
blades.
onto the bed and went to shower
get
to
moving.
cool off.
I won't rest easy until
Probably the
Martin is
smartest
safe with
way to
Cloud
go
roulette
about
on.
that, yeah.
Cause like I spent so much time and energy on that post, and then I was gonna copy it for proofreading elsewhere, and I accidentally hit paste instead of copy.
Fuck.
Because the button placement is weird on mobile. Oh yeah, did I mention I typed it out on mobile?
Yeah, I did see that you were typing. I eventually checked the channel again, and I was like, oh, that's odd. Fuzzy was typing a while ago. I wonder if why he didn't post anything.
And now you know why.
Yep.
And so yeah, like the argument was already getting to my head, but that just made me like I had to do a factory reset.
Mm.
So what I did is I went to shower, and then I did the mental illness shower thing, in which I went through several avenues and possible permutations of that argument in my head and my potential responses through it. You know,
Yep.
as you do.
Oh yeah.
I know I'm among my people, so I don't have to explain myself in that regard. And then I was thinking, and I stumbled upon like a sort of more broad spectrum of topics in that regard, which I did, and then I immediately after hopping out of the shower, I did a word vomit in Gen's general direction just so I could have it on like paper without forgetting it. And I find that I do word vomit in DMs more consistently than I do notes. So, like, the thing I'm thinking of is like a more deep look into parasocial psychology, because that's becoming increasingly important in the modern day, especially with the newer generations of children, especially, right? Like parasocialism has been, parasocial relationships have been consistently on the rise. Not just celebrity or pseudo-celebrity to viewer or creator to consumer parasocial relationships, but even like person-to-person parasocial relationships are on the rise. Because of the nature
of social media
of,
and stuff.
Yeah, because of the nature of social media and how different it is from the nature of like person-to-person, like in-person interaction. And also sort of tie the sociology of that into the psychology of like the consumption of art.
Grandmaster, is this...
Because I think that a lot of the work on the psychology of the consumption of art is outdated now.
Welcome to Cloud Ruler Temple. We have not
Do
had
tell.
the honor of an
So, a lot of the foundational psychology research
Your blades are waiting to greet you.
happened either pre-computer or in the early days of the computer.
Yes.
And a lot of the currently working, like the people who are doing, like creating the new foundational works in the field, are still on the older side. So,
Blades.
there isn't
Dark
a
times
lot
are upon us.
of
The Emperor and his sons were slain
Like,
on our watch. The Empire is in
standardized
chaos.
research
But there is yet
on
hope. Here is Martin Septim, true son of Uriel Septim.
Mill, it
We're
just got very
from
loud.
your side.
Your Highness, the blades
Yeah,
are at your command.
like quite
You will be
loudly.
safe here until
Are you
can-
on speaker
No.
for your game? How loud are your headphones?
I don't know. It's not coming through that loudly for me.
Huh.
How? It's very weird then, because it feels like you're either blasting speakers or like your headphones are blowing your eardrums to
Take up your
pieces.
throne.
Really not the case.
Joffrey, all of you.
It's weird then. But yeah, so for example, and Jack will be familiar with this. You know how there's a lot of like standard questionnaires for things like personality, autism spectrum, ADHD, things like that?
I hope
Uh-huh.
I prove myself worthy of your
There's
loyalty
no
in the coming
standardized
days.
questionnaires for parasocial behavior.
That's it. Thank you.
I'm not shocked. It is a pretty newly observed phenomenon.
We'd all best get back
Yeah,
to
and
our
that's why
duties,
I'm
eh,
like,
Captain?
huh. Someone should get on that, and if no one else is going to get on that, I might as well get on that.
Yeah.
Not much of a speech, was it?
Because, like,
It's
a
such
lot
a
of
good
these...
niche for you.
The blade saluted
Yeah,
you
because a lot of
with
these
Martin
topics
Septim. I
don't
need to say
require
grateful.
in-depth,
They want an emperor
like,
to tell
single person, like, small
Of
batch
course.
studies. A lot of these topics are things that can be
In any
done
case,
through
you-
widely distributed surveys.
Don't worry about me, my friend.
At least to
I know
lay it,
I
like,
can
to get the,
You have proven yourself as
get
Grand
data.
Master. It is my honor.
Yeah.
You're right. You'll find.
Yeah, the issue with
You send
surveys
warm
is,
regards
like,
to
you
both.
gotta make them anonymous, otherwise, like,
Obviously, yeah.
like, maybe put in some demographic information, otherwise people will be a lot more cagey about answering them.
No, of course, it will be anonymous with the exception of broad demographics, like maybe generational range, like a range of birth years,
Yeah,
Or-
age
and-
range,
gender.
gender,
age, gender, and
maybe
that's
ethnicity.
really all you need for. Even ethnicity in online spaces is a very that's actually a topic to get into all on its own. Because, like, in anonymous online spaces, the vast majority of people do not talk about their ethnicity.
True. You can only really tell sometimes with their username, and even then, not necessarily.
I mean, how many of the anime profile picture Japanese username Discord users are just from Ohio? There's probably a lot.
I mean,
Jack.
there was that one dude. This is like a few months back now. Who's been like super griftery with Japanese video games and like other stuff like that. Like, oh, it shouldn't cater to the woke Western audiences, sort of thing. And very much from a slant of we need to protect, Japan's Japaneseness, sort of thing. Turns out he is not Japanese in any way.
I'm shocked. This is my shocked face.
Probably a cishet white dude from Albuquerque.
Something like that, yeah.
Well, if you assume he's from Albuquerque and not from, like, fucking, I don't know, Indiana.
I can't remember exactly where
My-
he's from, but yeah, he's...
The meme is Ohio, by the way.
I know.
I think Albuquerque is a funny name. It's fun to say, so I
That's
like
why it was
saying
used in Looney Tunes.
But yeah, so the ethnicity, so you don't need ethnicity. All you need is age and gender. And most people are willing to not be cagey about that if all of their other information is anonymous.
Yes.
So I just basically want to just collect a very large body of data. And I have an idea of how to do that.
Is it using social media?
Close, but no.
Ooh.
It's through streamers, actually.
Oh.
Like, the idea is to reach out to streamers, very, like, probably the biggest ones, not the biggest ones, but the smaller ones with more close-knit audiences. And basically reach out to them and be like, hey, I am a psych student / researcher. Would you be willing to do an because I want to approach it from both directions. I want to approach it both from the parasocial audience and from the person they're being parasocial with. So I'd like to, like, maybe interview the content creators and then ask if they're willing. I would like to interview them and have them post the survey in their, like, Discord server or community or something.
The thing is, if you do that, you need to do it with also a control group as well, because that might have a bias on who the audience is.
Well, yes, but I also think you can use it. You can do it to compare audiences to each other as well.
True. I still think, like, you would need to find a way to get a.
There definitely needs to be a control group. Honestly, a control group could just. So, okay. Do you know why a control group is so hard in this case?
Because how do you determine that it's a control group, that it's not biased?
Well, no. It's that even if you select a population at random, depending on what area you select the random population from, there's gonna be, like, a lot of difficulty in controlling. So let me give you an example. The easiest way to get a control group is to distribute a survey through the university or through the university's research board and network.
Yes.
Right? That's the easiest way to get a control group. The problem is the university group is likely going to be very similar in age. And because they're likely going to be younger than not, they are probably going to have streamers that they watch. So I'm gonna have to, like, I'm definitely gonna, like, try and find an advisor, like a professor willing to, like, work with me on this. I have a couple of people in mind already. The awkward thing is that it's summer vacation, but I do know that at least one of those professors is teaching a summer course. So they will be available during the time of that summer course, so I'm going to see if I can reach out to them then.
Tidings, citizen.
But it's certainly, like, an area of research that can keep me sort of working, so to speak, for, like, quite a while. But yeah, it's just making, like, a standard metric is one thing, just gathering, like, a lot of data. And then, because you can do things with when you, like, let's say I get the control group going, as tricky as that might be. What I can do then is I can do, I forget what it's called, but, you know, I'm sure you've studied the stats, Jack. The 3-group analysis is not an ANOVA.
Go.
Is it a MANOVA? Trivariate.
Oh, it's been a minute.
That will get you something.
Yeah, no, it's been longer for you than it has been for me. So, but yeah, I'm like, what I can do then is I can see, okay, is this content creators group more or less parasocial than this content creators group? And if so, why is that? Right? Like, it's a direction that I don't think has been approached. And honestly, I don't mind talking about it on stream because even if we had an audience, which we don't, I'm pretty sure I would actually be fine with other people also working on this because that would just mean I'd have less work to do. In the sense that I'd have something to base stuff on. He really has, like... Why, Shade?
Yeah.
This is a very... It's just such an appropriate name, because they are constantly throwing that stuff.
Yeah, no. It's, yeah.
But yes, I'd be happy to have, like, a foundational pool of data to work from if someone else wants to steal that research idea, because I have other research ideas that are derivative of that, so I can just, like, derive it from other people's work instead of my own.
You know the worst part about the sciences?
What?
Science is hinged heavily on replicability, but fucking nobody wants to do a duplicate study.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest flaws, isn't it?
You know, like, because, like, you see this really cool hypothesis get put out there, and, like, no one wants to do a second thing, because, like, this is a really cool hypothesis. And then, like, the moment someone actually tests the hypothesis, like, yeah, no, this is bullshit. And it's like, come on.
I mean, the opposite also happens, where a single study is done, and the hypothesis is, like, proved and is very solid, but because of, like, issues with sample size or something, people don't believe it, and no one's willing to do a second, like, a duplicate study just to verify or disprove.
Yeah. Honestly, the worst one is, when it's, like, when you see it, like, people cite studies and it's like, oh yeah, this study, which has a ridiculously small sample size and is support of a really sketchy-ass theory that has no real other proof behind it. Which is the inverse of what you said, but yes.
Yeah, it can go both ways.
Yeah. Like,
yeah,
that's like
I'm
the whole thing with anti-vaxxers and all their bullshit. Like, the fucking Wakefield study and all that.
God, I hope Wakefield rots.
I mean, he is pretty thoroughly condemned by most any sane person.
Yeah, but it took a while.
Yeah.
It took longer than it should have.
Oh, I 100% agree on that front.
But yes, hope we're not alienating you with the, talking inside baseball mill.
No.
But yeah, so so yeah, I would love to, like, interview streamers as well and see if there's, like, I imagine not a lot of streamers would be willing. I'm sure if I, like, cast the net wide enough, I could get it through. Especially if I come to them, like, in a formal capacity as opposed to as a fan. Because obviously I'm gonna go to the streamers I'm actually a fan of first.
Yeah. There's a chance that you will get a couple of them, but not that many.
Yeah, so, but, like... And just because, like, the and there's other research to do as well. Is like the psychology of streaming is a big thing as well,
Yeah.
right? People have done studies on the psychology of celebrity, but because celebrities are much fewer in number and also have a lot of like a lot more clout and are much less accessible, it's very hard to do a like study the psychology of celebrity like firsthand, as it were.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But I feel like there's a lot of streamers and like internet pseudo celebrities in the modern day, the more reasonable ones, are much more interested and willing to like participate in that research.
Yeah. Like, you could look into, I don't know if... Actually, no. Thor probably has a huge audience.
Who?
Pirate Software. Thor.
Yeah, no. I'm not going for the ones that even people unfamiliar with the games they're playing, because I'm pretty sure Mill posted a Pirate Software clip of him playing that was involved him playing World of Warcraft. And I know Mill has nothing to do with WoW.
I mean, I come across him because... Well, I don't know why I come across him. It's the algorithm.
He uploads shorts on YouTube a lot.
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
through,
Basically,
it's just through
anyone who is liked by the algorithm and therefore has a broad audience past their base streaming audience is probably going to be too large for me to reach out to.
I mean,
Most likely, yes.
So
to be fair, I'm not sure it's as much Thor is liked by the algorithm, and more that he is very, very good at gaming the algorithm.
Same difference, really. Like, that actually, someone gaming the algorithm is even less likely to respond, like, be
Amenable.
responsive, yeah, or available, or than someone who is just naturally liked by the algorithm. But no, so I'm gonna reach out to people, and I'm obviously gonna put a more personal touch on the ones that I'm actually a fan of. But I do think there's a way to reach out in a formal and polite fashion that some people would be responsive to. That's an email I'm going to spend a lot of time drafting with my advisor, whoever it ends up being.
Yeah, that's probably ideal. Because if you can draft up a good format, then you can send it out pretty much en masse.
Yes. But
What's going on there, Mill?
Trap.
It's Elder Scrolls happening. Just don't worry about it. But yeah, so another thing I want to study, and it's probably reflective of my own biases that I said thing. VTubers.
Oh boy. There's been
I believe it.
a lot going on with VTubers recently.
Oh, I'm not even talking about the crappiness of, like, HoloLive and the fact that they are trying very hard to take the worst aspects of the idol industry and incorporate them into their own business model. Let's not get into that. But more the psychology of the VTuber. And the reason I'm more likely to actually get some hits on this is because a lot of VTubers do openly talk about the psychology of being a VTuber. Like, a lot of VTubers in the Western world talk about the psychology of being a VTuber.
Mm.
And as a result, I'm sure there will be some who will be happy to, like, have it formalized in academia.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, I know there's probably some VTubers who have already been killed who are willing to speak out a bit more.
I feel like the ones that are dead are gonna have a hard time speaking.
I'm referring to Graduation.
Ah.
Like the artist formerly known as Fauna, for example. That was a thing, right? Remember that?
No, because I don't follow VTubing at all.
Nor do I.
So, I have an interesting relationship with VTubers. I believe I've talked about it before, but I really I get majorly creeped out by VTubers for Uncanny Valley reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Or almost reverse Uncanny Valley. Because, like, you know how the Uncanny Valley is that it's very close to human, but just far enough? Mine is the opposite. With VTubers, I'm like, they are so close to non-human, but they're just human enough to freak me out. Like, because graph-wise, right? You know the Uncanny Valley graph?
Yes.
Invert the graph. Same axes, invert the graph. That's why I'm creeped out by VTubers.
Mm.
And so I'm not, but the problem is that I find a lot of the content creators behind VTubers to make very enjoyable content. So I'm caught between a rock and a hard place in that regard. Because, like, a lot of VTubers make content that is very much to my tastes, but the fact that they're VTubers makes it very hard for me to watch that content.
Mm.
You get what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
It's like if, can you think of a good analogy for comparison?
Not off the top of my head.
Like for example, it's like if your favorite video essayist started to exclusively make their videos with text-to-speech.
Oof. Yeah.
Can you imagine just the ick that you get from just imagining that? That's how it is with me for a lot of VTubers.
Gotcha.
There is
I love
there is one particular text-to-speech voice, like AI voice, that I really, really fucking despise. So yeah, I can kind of get it.
Yeah, that's the sort of, like, imagine if all of your favorite content creators exclusively switched to that voice, and that's how it feels for me with VTubers a lot of the time. And I've also had issues with parasocial relationships myself in my youth. We were all young and foolish at one point.
Yes.
Even though now we are old and busted.
Not all of us started a cult, though.
Listen, the first time was an accident.
Not all of us started two separate cults, one on purpose.
The second time hasn't happened yet.
Yet.
Look, just because I have some rough drafts and plans in my little notebook doesn't mean it's okay to make fun of me about it on stream.
All right, we'll drop it. What were you trying
you
to
can make
get
fun
at?
of me about it after I have made the attempt.
Okay.
At least make
Like,
sure
what?
your next cult is, for good.
Look, I'm not gonna get into this over on stream, but technically the first one was too. But yeah, there's a lot of basically internet culture and new media consumption psychology that is understudied.
Oh, absolutely. Hey, you know the whole whatchamacallit, the whole frequently cited theory that people are assholes online because anonymity makes people assholes. Turns out that that's not necessarily the whole case.
Yes, though I will say the caveat of it's a factor,
It is a
certainly.
factor. However, the main thing is, as it turns out, online spaces are much like regular spaces in that the loudest voices tend to be the most assholish, and the majority of people are on the more reasonable side. It just so happens that communities tend to devolve into toxicity because, you know, the whole thing with people being assholes means you don't want to stay in a place as long.
Also, the algorithm thrives on conflict.
Yes, that is the other thing. It is artificial selection.
I will also say, here's how I like to think of it. Anonymity is a multiplier. So, it can make it worse, but it doesn't create something out of nothing. Right? Like, the seeds are already there. The anonymity isn't even like... The anonymity is not something that causes the seed to bloom, but it is like a little extra hit of fertilizer. Right? Like it doesn't add any... It's multiplicative, not additive. It doesn't add any dickishness that wasn't already there. It just enhances it.
Exacerbates it, yes.
Oh, the power has returned.
Hey!
Hallelujah!
We have light. I'm still gonna stay on data. I'm still gonna stay on data for obvious reasons for a bit, just for the sake of redundancy and emergencies. But yes, I can probably go back into my cave now.
Are you going to go use a box of scraps while you're in there? Just
I
build
ran out
something
of my
crazy?
I ran out of my last box of scraps on Tuesday. I'm gonna have to restock.
Damn.
You can get them in bulk in Costco, so you know that's good. So
I know
Jack,
I've got a Costco relatively nearby. I need to visit it at some point.
Costco's really good.
Maybe when I've actually got money.
They do have a lot of shit in bulk for pretty cheap.
Yeah, so Costco is great, but it does have like an entry fee. Like there's a baseline of like obviously you got to get the membership, but like the membership pays for itself very quickly.
Oh yeah.
Like even if you get the premium membership, as long as you're just buying groceries there, it will pay for itself. Like sooner.
Not to mention the gas there too is pretty
pretty
well discounted.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Also, like the fucking food court at Costco has some really cheap items.
If they ever remove the $1.50 hot dog at Costco, probably there will be
riots. There will be blood in the streets.
Yes. But yeah,
Should somebody complain to Elon Musk's Twitter account that the 150 Costco hot dogs are woke then?
I'm sure someone
my God,
has.
yeah, but they should someone should absolutely brigade them. Yeah. But oh no, I was gonna say, did you know Costco in like Canada, the food court has like 1,500 calorie poutine for like $5.
That'll keep you nice and filled for a while.
Yeah, no, like literally you can probably get away with just breakfast and a Costco poutine and then settle your meals for the day for like $10.
Or you could get a Costco pizza for like $12 and sell your meals for 3 days.
That is also an option. So yes, Costco. Great if you can afford the initial investment.
Yes.
I don't know how the pricing for the memberships is in the UK, Mel. Mel?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just looking up where the nearest one is. It's a little bit far away, but I could go to it.
You drive, though, don't you?
Yeah, I drive. I could go to
Yeah,
it.
so... Yeah.
And there is a petrol station there,
yes.
so...
Exactly, yeah. Like, if you ever need to fill up...
Drugs!
Yeah.
I'm gonna take so much skooma.
So, shifting gears for a moment before we head back into, the weeds again. Movies. How many movies have you watched recently, Fuzzy?
Do you want to hear something crazy?
Sure, go for it.
In the year of our Lord 2025, I think 0.
Damn!
Like, so for me, a lot of my media consumption is on a volume to time ratio. Not out of any desire for efficiency, but just because I consume so much that I'm not satisfied with a small volume to time ratio.
Mm-hmm.
So most of my media is consumed in the form of text. Because, like, I read fast.
Yes.
So I can consume them. I can reach peak media consumption through either text or audio, because I can do multiple things while I'm doing audio. So I can consume games and audio at the same time.
See, with movies, unless you're in a theater, in which case it'd be very rude to do this, but if, in the case of movies, you can, in fact, play a game while you're watching a movie, a handheld game or something.
So, I do know that the second monitor movie people exist.
Hi.
However, yes, hello, Mel. However, my issue is that my specific flavor of ADHD is not conducive to that.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I can't do audio. I can't do 2 sources of video.
Oh no, I'm not talking about a game that you have to like play like Mill is actively playing. I'm talking about like some more passive, like I don't know, like one of those random ass mobile games that's like a puzzle game.
Like that's what I'm talking about. I can't even do. I don't have 2 visual channels. I have multiple audio. I actually don't have multiple audio channels either. Right? So I usually mute the game and listen to the podcast or something along those lines. Because I can't, like, the thing that my eyes are looking at needs to be the primary source of attention for me.
Makes sense.
And so for movies, I can't do anything else while watching movies. Which is why, it's also why I stopped watching anime and switched to manga instead.
Makes sense.
Right. Because I can read manga faster and I can put some music on while I'm reading manga.
Yeah, plus anime is fixed speed, unless you are a psychopath.
Listen, you don't have to call out the fact that I used to watch anime at 4x speed, okay?
Anyone who does that is evil. Just saying.
How do you think I got through... How do you think I used to get through, like, 3 to 4 seasons of anime in a single night, Mill, or Jack? My anime watching phase, I was fully capable of watching, like, 3 to 4 12-episode seasons a night.
That is absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah. How do you think I built such a massive, like, foundation of anime knowledge. It's because I was mentally ill. So I would just because again, I read fast, so even at 4x speed, the subtitles zipping by didn't matter to me. I will say, I watched the fight scenes at normal speed.
Good.
I'm not I'm lawful evil, not chaotic evil.
Yes. Anyways,
the fight scenes, the major emotional beats, I would slow down for those.
I was gonna try to tangent into movies I've actually watched this week after not watching a lot of movies lately. But yeah.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So I watched, as you all know, I watched Conclave at a very auspicious time. Rather, very awkward time.
Did they know?
I mean, the book came out several years ago.
No, but
the movie was based off of the book.
But the fact that the adaptation came out so close to the actual Conclave is one of those things that is definitely a coincidence, but has probably bred an entirely new generation of conspiracy theorists.
Oh, absolutely. Also, funny enough, the late Pope in the film does have a lot of similarities to the late Pope Francis in terms of his characterization.
Yeah, so it's even crazier.
Yeah.
And also Voldemort's in it.
Ralph Fiennes does a fantastic job in the movie.
God, this is one of the great tragedies of the modern era. Even though the Turf Master General herself is human garbage, the casting of the movies was impeccable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's not be praising Fiennes too highly. He is on Voldemort's side.
Aw, that's a damn shame.
Well, no, that's the issue, right? Is the great tragedy of the modern era is that people who are very talented are now revealing the fact that they're idiots.
Incredible.
Because, yeah, it's one of those awkward things, because it's also, okay, this is going to, Jack, you know how you called me evil, not 2 minutes ago?
That was a joke, but yes.
Well, no, I'm about to, give you further reason to make that joke. Again. I don't really watch movies very often, but do you know what I do quite often?
What?
Read the Wikipedia synopsis.
I mean, I used to do that when I was a kid, so...
That's still
if I couldn't watch a movie, I would read the Wikipedia synopsis if I was curious enough about it.
Yeah, so I've read the Wikipedia synopsis of Conclave, and the fact that Ralph Fiennes is that flavor of idiot makes the end twist of the movie a lot funnier in hindsight.
Oh, absolutely.
It is do you think he realized? Did he read the whole script? Did he not see that?
He was in that end scene, so he must have.
So it's just does he I don't even know if that's an excessive lack of self-awareness or if he misunderstood the message of the movie. I don't get it, but God.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It's pretty wild.
Emil, do you care at all?
I probably won't watch it.
So, I'm not going to spoil it, obviously, but I will say one of the core features of the movie is that gender is a social construct and that biological sex is messy and complicated.
Yeah.
And not binary. Which, considering
Yeah.
the position of those people, it's very funny who's in the movie.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Stanley Tucci is also in the movie, and I think he's a considerably better person.
Oh, is he? I was worried you were gonna say he's also like an anti-vaxxer or something.
No, I know nothing of Stanley Tucci that suggests he's anything but a swell dude. I mean, I could be horribly, horribly wrong, but I don't think so.
Just, you know...
Oh, noes. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm into the basement, and I think I have to trip a circuit breaker, but I'm not going to do it on stream because I don't want the risk of violating Twitch terms of service by dying live on stream by electrocution if I fail.
Yeah, that'd probably not be ideal.
I'm looking at the circuit board, and I don't think anything's tripped, but I might have to, like, do one of them turn it on and turn it off again, because I don't know. I think power's out in the entire basement, huh?
Oh. Well, this is a Bethesda game. It died.
What happened?
Oh, hang on a minute. Did my power go out again?
Might have.
Wow, this is a.
And we're losing Fuzzy too.
This is a good 15 seconds.
Back to movies, yeah. Back to movies, yeah. Conclave. The timing of Conclave is very funny.
Absolutely hilarious.
Went out again. Huh. It came back, then it went and decided to leave again. It was very unfortunate.
Yeah, the most I can
very
see.
Inconvenience of it.
The most I can see for Stanley Tucci is that he defends straight actors playing gay roles.
But, you know, I don't mind that necessarily because part of it is also just like, you don't want to forcibly out people who are still closeted but play gay roles.
Mm.
Which, that has been a thing.
Also, it's called acting for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, so for some cases it's worse. Like, there's never a good reason to do a white person in a person of color's role.
Yeah.
So that's off the table, but like, I don't think it's, if it's a very if it's one of the more straightforward things, like a straight person playing someone who's gay or bi, I think depending on how it's handled, it's not the worst thing in the world.
Plus, you have plenty of gay actors who play straight characters, like Neil Patrick Harris, for example.
So to be fair, that one's more of a complicated thing because, first of all, it's a demographic and proportion issue. And second of all, it's the whole, well, they're allowed. Because they are the oppressed. So,
yeah.
The oppressed are allowed to punch up. Basically what I'm saying is that gay actors playing straight roles is technically punching up.
Yes.
Where it's more ambiguous with straight actors. It's not always punching down, but it can be punching down, depending on the context.
And then you get wild cases like Tropic Thunder, which kind of just skewer the whole blackface thing entirely.
Yeah, it's one of those great media literacy tests because it's one of those bell curve things where the people outraged over Robert Downey Jr. doing blackface and the people not thinking at all about Robert Downey Jr. doing blackface in Tropic Thunder are both stupid.
Yes. The whole point of it is to skewer both method actors and actors performing in blackface.
Yes, it's very much the premise of that character is that it's satire. So you do actually have to think about it. So it's a great litmus test for both sides of the idiocy spectrum.
All right, let's try this again.
But yeah, what I was going to say is that Conclave is one. Yeah, timing is incredible. What else did you want to talk about, Jack?
Sinners. I watched that last week, and it was really fucking good.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's one I'm probably not going to read the Wikipedia synopsis for. But so I read the Wikipedia synopsis for movies that are either interesting or well liked, but not to my taste. Just because I want to build a foundation of knowledge.
Yeah.
But Sinners is one that I'm interested in actually watching, so I'm not going to read the Wikipedia synopsis for that. So
I would highly recommend going in as blind as you can. You'll probably know, like, going in some things, like, oh yeah, there's horror.
I know nothing now, so don't tell me anything.
I will tell you this. The music in it is fucking amazing. There's also one sequence about midway through the film that is absolutely fucking insane. You will know it when you get to it. That's all I will say.
So for progressive audiences, I don't think this is going to be a controversial statement. Soundtracks for movies directed by people of color tend to slap.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
Right? And I think there's a very concrete sociological reason for that as well.
A lot of our biggest music traditions derive from the work of people of color, for one.
Well, that and a strong cultural identity and a strong connection to the art is a very important and tangible part about oppressed minority communities, especially in North America.
Yeah.
It is equal parts coping mechanism, method of resistance, and sort of banner of solidarity. And so people from minority groups and from oppressed groups tend to have a much richer cultural foundation.
Yeah.
Whereas, cishet white dudes just like listen to music by cishet white dudes.
That's not to say that cishet white dudes can't make good music. See John Williams and Hans Zimmer. For a couple of well-known examples.
Okay, so I don't like those particular examples because isn't a lot of their music stolen?
Not that I can recall.
So, from what I know, which one is the Star Wars guy and which one is the Jaws guy?
Both are John Williams.
Then which one is Zimmer?
Zimmer, I don't remember what he did. He's done a lot, but he's done a lot of Christopher Nolan movies.
Right, he's the Bois guy.
Yes. So let's see. What's some of it? So, The Lion King, Dune, Gladiator, Last Samurai, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dark Knight Trilogy, Inception, Interstellar.
Yeah. So Zimmer and Williams. Obviously, we know both of these people. From my understanding, yes, their early work was very much them being like maestros, like very like extremely talented and competent musicians. However, from my understanding, as time went on and they grew older, their names became more of a brand and are more a composite of various composers working under them.
I don't know how true that is.
I remember reading a fairly reputable article. I think it was Gen that posted it actually in our channel. That said something
I'd
to
have
that
to look
effect.
it. I'd have to ask
We'd have to
about
like
that.
look into this. It might have been someone else, but I think it might have been Gen, but it might have been someone else. But I think it's that in the modern era, because those guys are fossils. They are ancient.
Zimmer is only
So
like 67.
I think John Williams
Only
was
like
the specific
67.
example. Yes, you
67
said
is not
only.
what I would call ancient. Old, yes. Ancient is like in your 80s or 90s.
So, like the president of the United States.
Unfortunately, he is only 78. Still fucking old, though.
No, but anyway, I believe the specific example was that John Williams is old enough that a lot of the music that is cited as by John Williams is just ghostwritten by like an entire team now for modern works.
I don't know about that. Like I said, most of his best known stuff is his earlier stuff. Like, basically everything from I think like the prequel trilogy and earlier.
No, I absolutely agree that there is music that we know is definitely by John Williams and Hans Zimmer that is like that slaps. That is not a question. I'm just saying for the more modern day stuff, it is a bit more ambiguous.
I don't even necessarily think it's them being ghostwritten. It just might be them fucking phoning it in.
I'll get back to you on this, but yes. So what other? So Sinners, Conclave.
Those are the two I've watched so far in the past week. Which is, more movies I've watched like for most of the rest of the year. I'm pretty sure. And I'm also watching Thunderbolts in a couple days.
Yeah, so
Rotten Tomatoes says that's apparently going to be good, so...
Yeah.
So I already know what the next movie I'm going to watch is.
Oh-ho.
I haven't watched Deadpool 3 yet.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, that one's funny.
That's going to be my next movie. And that's definitely a movie that even my ADHD-riddled brain will be able to probably pull up on my main monitor and focus on.
Yeah. It's a really funny movie.
It is.
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to have a good time with that.
Oh.
I'm going to watch that at some point, probably in the next couple of days. But, yeah, just movies are not really how I like to consume my media anymore.
The walls disappeared.
Understandable.
They're still there, but I can't see them.
Whoops.
I think
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I think streaming at the same time as playing this game is having an effect. Because this does not do the stuff when I'm just playing it solo.
I'll be right back. Gotta take
I'm just gonna...
I mean, that sounds like a... I mean, that's a feature, not a bug.
I'm just gonna... I don't know where the doors are!
Sounds like a skill issue to me. God, I hate that term when it's used unironically.
Alright, a quick save. Let's hope that it goes away. Oh god, the walls are back.
Alright, I've got another area of research that I'd like to get into that I'll continue talking about when Jack comes back. But, Mill...
Can it be published in the journal Porn Studies? Which is a legitimate academic journal that I discovered exists today.
So, That's the third area of research that I was going to talk to you about off stream. I'm still on the second one. But I will say...
Can I just say, you want to know how I discovered that it was a thing?
There are so many potential answers to that question that I don't even want to try to guess.
You remember a while back that there was a bit of controversy. I say controversy, a bit of stupidity about a woman who had done her PhD in like smells and stuff, and the fucking right wing did what they always do and complained about a thing that shouldn't be complained about.
That does sound like the stupid part of the internet, yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, she apparently, for reasons I don't know, was doing some research into smells and the ABO-verse. And apparently there is in fact a fucking, at least one article about the ABO-verse in this fucking journal.
I have thoughts on ABO. Oh, you came in just when we were talking about the ABO stuff.
I just heard that, like, you have thoughts on ABO, like, oh boy, what a fun time to return.
Hey Jack, a journal called Porn Studies exists.
A what now?
Porn Studies.
So here's the thing.
That is
a journal.
An academic journal.
Honestly, people should study that more.
No, it's not.
We are very much not complaining that it exists. I just find it funny that I just learned about it through somebody researching ABO.
That is very funny. But yeah, no, I think it's definitely something worth studying.
No, like, no joke. The person who I am aiming for as my master's advisor teaches my university's human sexuality course.
Huh, wild.
So, believe me. So I was going to say, there's a second area of research that I was going to go into other than the parasocial one. And then Mill asked if it would go in the Porn Studies journal, and I said that's for the third area of research. So the second area of research is, let me ask you gentlemen a question. Are video games a physical activity or a mental one?
Yes.
And now you know why I want to do actual academic research into that. Mel, thoughts?
I suppose it depends on the type of game. Some games it will absolutely be both. Other games I think it will just be mental, and other games it can just be physical. I think it is very much dependent on the game. Because let's be honest, there are absolutely games you can play mindlessly, right?
Yes, and there are absolutely games that you need 100% focus on. But there's a caveat to that as well. Those games that you need to focus on can also be further split into games that you need to focus on for mental reasons because they're difficult, or games that you need to focus on for physical reasons because the physical execution is challenging. Like, there are games that literally require nothing but clicking the mouse and moving the cursor, but will require you to use 120% of your brain power. And then there are games that require 120% of your brain power, like that, because you have to do frame perfect inputs, like in a fighting game, for example. So even focus is not necessarily a determining factor of whether a game is more of a physical or a mental exercise. Because even the most physical of games, which are probably fighting games, right? I think you'd agree with me on that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even those have an incredibly important mental strategic planning component, a psychological component, because you have to play mind games with your opponent, you have to do hard and cold reads, you have to so fighting games are actually the thing I want to study. Because they're very unique in that at the competitive level, they are a sport that is both a mental sport and a physical sport. And what I want to get into is, and this is actually why my crash out yesterday led to this line of thinking, elitism around executional difficulty.
Hey,
And
no. Sorry, I'm being attacked.
Are you elitist on executional difficulty? Is that why you're feeling attacked?
No. People are actually physically attacking me.
No, I'm aware. I was making the joke at your expense. Sorry. But yeah, it is a very common trend in the fighting game community especially to be upset when physical execution requirements are lowered, even if nothing else is changed. And I think that's very interesting psychologically. So, because that topic has led to several seconds of incredibly awkward silence and dead air, I'm going to pivot to a much more popular fuzzy topic. The third thing I wanted to research is the psychology of Rule 34 artists.
It is a fairly fertile ground for discussion, that's for sure.
I mean, that's not the genre I'm into, but sure.
God damn it.
You said the word fertile ground in a discussion about Rule 34, Jack. What did you think was going to happen?
I don't know. I was just using a goddamn figure of speech, okay?
There's definitely going to be speech about some figures when we're talking about Rule 34 artists, if you know what I'm saying.
Unfortunately, the Taylor and Francis website has taken me searching Rule 24 through this journal as also wanting regulation, which, yeah, is not the case.
Look, that's an entirely different field of study that I'm not going to get into. But here's the premise for my thoughts here.
Well, who might you be?
There's a lot of artists in history who draw porn.
Yes. One of the oldest forms of art out there.
Yeah. There are cave paintings that I'm pretty sure are literal furry porn.
Would not shock me that much.
I mean, considering the fact that autism and ADHD developed in as a survival strategy in early humans, and also the Venn diagram of that and the furry community is an almost perfect circle. I'm not shocked that the furries are the most ancient of fetishes.
You know, this is something that I think I'm going to get some flack for, but, like, aren't, like, a lot of,
Take
a lot
care.
of, like,
Can you help
Christian
me find?
derived cults
Please.
basically just very
I don't know
elaborate
how stupid
breeding
I was.
kinks,
I saw some.
given organization.
You can call out Mormonism specifically, it's fine.
I was actually referencing the Quiverful bullshit, but that too, yes.
No, you're completely correct. Yeah. No. A lot of the latter day, and I use this very intentionally, Christian movements were basically horny cults that went mainstream.
And of course, there's also the whole thing of just, like, very, very ultra-repressed people being just like that for some reason. Hint, it's because of the suppression.
Yeah, so, okay, here's a question that's wild and is relevant to Mill's field particular, tangentially, even if it's... So, Mill, you always say you're not that kind of historian, but you do have to admit that you do have a foundation as a historian.
Yeah.
Even if, in the same way that every psychologist has to study Freud, I'm sure every historian has to study some degree of ancient history, right?
Now take our leave of each other, you and I, for there is much work to be done.
So here's the question I'm going to pose to you both.
Progress.
What do you think,
Now one with the Dark Brotherhood.
among human beings,
Farewell.
what do you think was the first non-standard sex act?
Define the standard sex act. It's just like regular old,
Sex for the sake of procreation.
If I had to guess, it'd be either oral or anal.
My guess is anal.
That does seem to be the consensus guess. But
Are you going to suggest foot job?
no, though I'm sure the foot fetish had to come from somewhere. But here's the reason I'm like posing the question.
Actually, it might have been a hand
Because-
job.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
let's
Fingering,
no.
yeah.
Well, that one's obvious because it's a natural derivative of masturbation, and masturbation is something that is like very common in the animal kingdom. So it's not like even a jump, right? Like most mammals with an anatomical capability do in fact masturbate. Fun fact. Did you know that elephants have prehensile genitalia? The males do.
No.
Huh, wild.
Because of how large they are, they cannot procreate without it being prehensile because their body shape just doesn't allow them to mount properly.
That does make sense, yes.
Like it would not. It is like a literal anatomical requirement. However, what is even funnier is that apparently they use that to their advantage and they, self pleasure by slapping their own bellies with it,
That's funny.
which is very funny to me. But yeah, that's just so yes, masturbation, very common behavior in animals.
But before you go,
Primates using their hands to do it is also incredibly common. So it's really hand stuff is not a jump. Really, like it's almost so commonplace that it's not even worth mentioning.
Why, sister? What's the point? Why should anyone bother with all that sneaking and skulking?
Warmest greetings to you. I trust you've already spoken with
Hi,
Ochiva.
Vincente. Your eyes are
Valtieri.
interesting.
Please do not let my appearance unnerve you. The needs and tenets of the Dark Brotherhood.
That's certainly a way to flirt, Mel.
Now, if you're ready. A contract is a contract. What? I'm
Also, how long have you been going? It's been about 2 hours, right?
1 hour 40.
Nope.
Here is what you must do. Board
Okay,
the
we're getting
ship. The
close.
pirates have been. Farewell, sister.
Of course I value it. And I have never betrayed them. But using stealth to kill.
If it isn't, then I'll say. Anvil is all in it. My cities, I don't have all day. Hurry it up.
Jesus, dude, you don't even have anything for me to buy.
Hurry it up.
Not in terms of spells, anyway.
Mm-hmm. What were you having a thought, Fuzzy?
You ripped me off.
No, I was just like, I just started thinking about Jesus and how funny it would be if there was a Marvel comic that, again, it's not likely to happen because Marvel is a multi-billion-dollar company that consists of cowards. I just think it would be really funny because to continue on to that Moon Knight Daredevil crossover that you posted, Jack. It would be really funny if Jesus Christ literally did manifest to beat the crap out of Daredevil's enemies at some point.
Like a stand, almost?
No, just like how Santa's a real guy. Like, I'm pretty sure Jesus is canon in the Marvel Universe as, like, a guy. So, I'm like, considering the fact that the Marvel Universe just has... Canonically, the Abrahamic God is canon in the Marvel Universe.
I'm pretty sure that's also the case in DC.
Yes, both of them do have an omnipotent creator god at the top.
I forget which one it calls the entity the one above all.
That's that's Marvel. It's in DC. It's the Presence.
Right.
DC has a couple of different names, representing a different aspect. So there's the Presence, there's the Source, there's a few others, but they're essentially all derivatives of the same omnipotent creator who is strongly implied to be the Abrahamic one. Same with the one above all. Also, on that note, did you know there's been a new recent retcon on the Hulk's power?
Oh boy, what is it this time?
The Hulk is now powered by the one below all.
Oh boy, is that where Devil Hulk comes from?
Look who we
Because the conceit now in DC is that because the omnipotent creator is all encompassing, which is just a natural it's a natural conclusion of the existence of the Abrahamic God or any monotheistic God. There is the one below all is essentially the evil aspect of the one above all. And all gamma mutants, like the Hulk, derive their power from the one below all.
Wild. How long do you think it's going to take for that to get retconned again?
So the thing about these things is that they generally don't get explicitly retconned. They just get, ignored. but a lot of them do stick. Like, so it's likely that it's one of those things, especially because it is so incredibly internally consistent that it's going to be one of those things that no one really mentions, but they probably make references to, like, even in the future.
Who's there?
Yeah.
Because the Hulk has always been established as not having a ceiling. That's just an established part of his character. Like, he doesn't instantly ramp, but he's... Do you know who the best comparison to the Hulk is, actually?
Who?
Saitama.
Oh, I see.
Because have you read the rewrite and, like, the Murata Garo arc?
Yeah, most of it.
Like, the thing about the Hulk is the same as that, where it's like, he doesn't necessarily start the strongest, but as long as you do not one-shot the Hulk, he will eventually grow more powerful than you over the course of the fight. He's like playing by full-on shonen rules.
We're coming in.
And there is no upper limit to his power. Theoretically, the Hulk could solo even the cosmic entities as long as they were the last in a line of fights. But yes, we're not talking about that. Oh! Did you know there's a... Go ahead.
What's funnier for me in terms of retcons is just the amount of times that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver's parentage has been retconned. Because it's been retconned like 4 or 5 times, I'm pretty sure. And recently it was like about 10 years ago or so when Marvel was trying to distance a lot of characters from the mutants. They were retconned into not being Magneto's kids. I think they may slowly be drifting back to having them as Magneto's kids once again. It's just very, very funny.
I mean, it's even funnier that the Twincest is canon.
Only in Ultimate Marvel. Which,
It's implied in other Marvel, too, Jack.
Not that I can recall in mainline.
There's a lot of subtext in their relationship, even in mainstream Marvel.
Get your black
But yes, whatchamacallit.
Getting back to... Okay, go ahead.
There's a thing of just, like, Marvel writers are just, like... I think Marvel editorial has it out for specific characters. Like, there's the whole thing with Peter Parker not being allowed to be happy for one thing, and all the bullshit that's entailed over the years, especially One More Day and all of that bullshit.
The fact that no one has rolled One More Day back, even to this day, is mind-boggling. Like, it has to be internal executive meddling by this point.
Oh, it absolutely fucking is. Like, I don't know how involved Quesada still is in executive decisions at Marvel Editorial, but, like, he definitely either has a hand in some pies or someone who likes his bullshit has hands in pies.
But yeah, no. So getting back on the subject of the horny, do you want to hear about something I did in my first year of university that was funny?
Sure.
Me and my roommate may have spent an entire night mathing out the size of the Hulk's genitalia. Because we, like, literally pulled out official figures for height and weight and, like, we went over the overall size multiplier. And the answer may shock you.
Okay then.
Would you like to know the answer?
Yeah, fucking go for it.
The answer is, surprisingly, it wouldn't be that big. Based on the way that Banner grows and his growth pattern, and like the difference in size between base Banner and Hulk, depending on Banner's base size, if you go by like national averages, Hulk's ding dong wouldn't be more than 8 to 10 inches, which is large for an average human, but relative to the Hulk is not that big.
I mean, that is making some assumptions, of course.
Well, yeah, but like we're more using just statistical averages. Like it's possible that Bruce Banner is hung like a horse, which would change the numbers. But what we figured out is that the change in size and mass for the Hulk is not as big as you would think going by the official numbers.
Hey, come on now. There's no need to get violent.
Oh shit, I found a Mythic Dawn member. Just by massacring the population of this town.
Lol, rip.
But yes, like I don't think I still have the notes, but we did use the scientific method to come to that conclusion.
Wait, what kind of testing did you do?
No, just, well, by scientific method, I mostly mean, like, cross-verification of various sources and, like,
okay.
Like, statistical analysis.
Stop! You violated the law.
The scientific method isn't just testing, Jack.
Then pay.
I know, but that's like the default that's assumed when someone says scientific method.
Yeah, but, like, you know that there's a lot of hypotheses that are based around induction and deduction more than they are direct testing.
As opposed to induction and subduction, which are very different things.
Someone's been murdered.
I'm not apologizing for that joke.
Yes. No, I know, yes. The English language is funny that way. Every word has like 6 different meanings, some of which are very...
To be fair, I'm pretty sure all those words are Latin.
Yes, it's a feature of the English language that it's 3 languages in a trench coat. Yes, we know.
All of you do assume
we've
it's
talked
just
about
3.
We say 3 for the sake of brevity.
Yes.
But yeah, so basically we did a lot of like we got together as much data as we could and came to a conclusion based on available data.
Good to know.
And the conclusion was that the highest statistical probability is like within the 8 to 10 inch range. So yeah, that's what I did in my first year of university instead of studying.
It's all over, Lob. Then
And Sanders, what person hasn't spent early university doing dumb, silly stuff?
So I do have a question for y'all, and you can answer this off stream if you don't wanna. Have y'all considered like going further into education, like Mill for a PhD and Jack for a master's?
I tried. The application process is very difficult.
I sort of did my 2 degrees in, you know, different subjects, so that's makes it difficult.
I mean, at the very least, the 2 subjects you did are related enough that you can tie them both into a doctoral program.
I don't particularly want to do a doctoral program on creative writing.
What about history?
I would, but I would need to do a master's in it first, I think.
Can't you do a No, I'm pretty sure as long as you have a master's that is in a somewhat related field, you can... Like, I would look into it, because, like, doctoral programs have some degree of flexibility in that regard. Like, at least from the research I've done, at least in the universities I've looked at, I could theoretically do my bachelor's, master's, and doctorate in 3 separate fields.
How could you do such a thing?
As long as they're tangentially related.
That the best you can do?
So you might want to look into that.
By the gods, how could you do such a thing?
But what I was gonna say, Jack, is if you want to like get in on that, those studies that I'm planning to do, and if you ever want to like just have your name on a published paper, I'm pretty sure a bachelor's is enough that you can authoritatively have your name on a paper like that and actually like do the research for stuff like that, and that could lead you into like a reference for further academia if you ever want to get into it.
Honestly, just let me know.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be like talking to my profs, whoever is available during the summer semester, and I'm definitely gonna like this is not just a passing fancy. This is actually like a concrete direction for my further education. So I will absolutely keep you posted if you're interested.
Yeah, sure. Keep me posted.
Because like a lot of academia is about collabing with people enough that you have a portfolio that you can then apply to your own career. I will be right back. I need to make a quick phone call.
I was just about to bring it to an end because I'm now the Count of Lewin, or Countess of Lewin,
Nice.
as evidenced by the dead bodies. This was all just.
I was gonna say,
But this is where we're gonna end. So thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed our ramblings. In terms of future stuff, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays as always. This Sunday will be the Winter 2025 3+ anime episode check-in, whatever. So look forward to that. Otherwise, please do give us a follow here on Twitch and all that YouTube stuff.
Like, subscribe,
Like,
comment down below.
Oh,
And, sorry. Press that bell icon, yo.
And hopefully we'll see you on Thursday. Good night.
Later.
bye-bye.